What up, everybody? Lonnie here with ChartsNlabs. It is Friday the 23rd. So a lot of options for the weeklies are expiring this week. And we have a lot of news going around, so the volatility continues. Yesterday after close was Intel's earnings, and I'm a big fan of Intel. What happened last night was odd to say the least, but I'm also not surprised. If you are an options trader, one thing that you probably follow or pay attention to is the OI in in contracts, seeing where big money's putting their money in calls or puts, or where is the most popular range, if there's any unusual activity or large sweeps. If you follow the OI and the action on calls and puts, sorry, you'll kind of get an idea of the direction that the money is pushing the price. Intel had quite an odd week. And I don't want to say odd, but let's go to the 4-hour time frame. And as you can see, this since basically all month ran up. And they probably should have consolidated around this price. They're still getting all the analysts are giving their new updated price and outlook on Intel, so there's a ton of notifications going on in the background. This is probably the price that it should have stayed around more, especially going into a week. This is the end of last week. This is around Wednesday. Then this was Thursday. And here was Friday. It had a drop off to this 47 range. And then Tuesday, the price ripped up quite a bit. And then this huge gap up right here was on Wednesday in the morning, and it continued. And there really wasn't any specific news, and if you remember, most of the rest of the market was actually down or flat this week, or had that volatility of going up and down, and Intel just kind of ran. And I don't know if somebody at one of the institutions flipped the algorithm wrong, pushed the wrong button, or did something crazy, because I think they would have rather the price been around 49. 49 to 50 is probably where the price should have been a little bit longer to condense. So then we fast forward into their earnings, and we can see that they just massive dump. Supply and critical cooling keeps it, has notable upside. Data centers are still popular, and kind of where money is going. Chip sector hot. We're going to get into Intel a little bit deeper. Chips memory is in high demand and huge shortage. Analyst flows, data centers and infrastructure, building. Intel's guidance was bad. And yeah, that's what we're going to get into. So let's break down Intel's earnings, because the numbers on the surface level, they actually beat. They were actually better. They beat expectations on revenue. Their non-GAAP EPS was 15 cents per share versus 8 cents per share, so another beat. The operating income was technically positive, and their free cash flow was a positive swing versus last year. So on paper, this was a turnaround. This was looking good. But guidance was bad, and I almost am suspicious that this wasn't kind of intentionally botched. Because one of those things, like with those contracts that I was talking about, was the max pain point is where the most calls and the most puts lose based on the total interest of both. Where do most of them finish out of the money? And this is so market makers that write the contracts can technically profit off the premiums. And that price for this week was $46. And going into this week, that's about where it was, between 46 and 49. And and some reason the price ran up all the way to the 54 range. So I caught the max pain late when I didn't have any buying power, and I wish I would have. But it did cause me to sell my call that I had on them for very minimal gains. I think I made like 5%. And if I had buying power, um, instead of being in a cash account, I probably would have bought a put. And the puts are going to be up big. If you would have stayed in the $50 range, $50 or $52 range, because they were about $2, $2.20 or $2.40 for the 52, and then I think they're like $1 probably for the 50, and so you're probably going to be 150% profit on those when this opens, and we're probably going to see a push around 46, and it's going to stay around that today because that's max pain now. Now it's in that range again. But so here's where it happened is the numbers were not that bad to support a 13% drop in price, but the guidance and answering the questions was awful. I was listening to the call and I couldn't believe some of the answers that I was hearing, and the price reacted accordingly. There would be times where it was only down 3% or 4%, and then all of a sudden they said something and it dropped from 3% down to 10% down. So I don't know. I'm a little suspect on that. Too big of a price drop. The call was handled so poorly that if I hadn't been following Intel for so long and seeing all of the upside and what they've had from earnings to earnings to earnings, I would not touch these guys right now, just because of what they were saying. But there's so much potential and so much positive, and they've had so much going for them for this turnaround. I think it's still on the table. I really think that this was just a I don't know, just suspect. I'm still kind of blown away in it. I'm glad I wasn't in a position because once it was over that 51, I was like, holy crap, man, this is the price that it was supposed to be back in December or January or earlier, and now it's here, and so now there's not as much upside. So I was not playing very many calls this week because it was already kind of running. It never really pulled back, and I don't like playing earnings week because of the IV and everything. And then stuff like this happens where price can swing so dramatically, even because on paper this was not that bad. But it definitely dropped. So let's see. 165. All I have is my Rocket Lab. I have 467 in buying power. These guys are way down here now. So it's going to be kind of a weird opening for them because they're a huge drop from 54 down 12.9%. I wouldn't be surprised if this has to come up a little bit just based on this huge gap now and the volume up here. If it was to get to like 49, I would probably play a put just because I think this is going to 46. But like right now on Intel, the IV is going to be massive on these. Trade options, puts, 400% gain overnight on these guys. So yeah, this 52 now is 530. These are 240, 250. So yeah, would have been massive. Would have been a massive play. It says that, oh, this one was 380. I think it was this one was 2. So $5. Crazy. And so 46 is max pain. So it needs, oh, it's already going straight there. So I wouldn't play right now because there's no meat on the bone in my eyes. IV's going to be high and those prices are going to drop. I mean, you could play a momentum and scalp kind of thing. But it's going to probably finish not too far from this level. I bet it's going to kind of be flatlined here. So there was a play. If you could have got this on a momentum early when it was still 47 plus. If it goes, let's see, even the calls are probably, this was the call that I was playing a lot of. It is still going down. You know, these would already be up if you would have caught them. Low, last trade 120, previous close 21 cents, mark 124.51 was the low today. If you somehow got that at the open, would be crazy. I don't know how you would have. But yeah, no, crazy stuff with Intel. Their main focus, their legacy is the client computing, and that was down. This is a cyclical kind of seasonal thing that they've been having an issue. Data center is where everybody else is growing and booming, and they gained 9%, but they're backlogged. They're having supply constraints. Can't scale fast enough. The big thing that's been said this whole time on why they've been kind of flatlined and why I think they should have stayed in this 46 to 49 channel and never gone above 50 is because they're waiting for a foundry customer. It is a huge risk, and they need it. They need the customer to be able to do these 18A and 14A that are better chips. But in order for them to scale and for them to get the yields better, they really need a customer. And Apple's very close. Microsoft is a big customer of theirs. Amazon, Nvidia is a partner, and all these guys are rumored to be partners and rumored to be potential customers, and they just haven't been. Should have sold Rocket Lab at that if on that spike if it would have. That was is that dang got over 90, waiting for that to go. So yeah, here we go. Let's ask it for a look. I want to go to my Weeble and watch list option plays. So SLV over 90 is crazy. Silver going to 100. These guys move. I caught them on somebody's mentioning them. They have a Nvidia deal. And look at that, 196. They're gonna be plus 200% if you caught them at the right time. Early, that was a huge win. I don't want to chase that mess now, and I bet they don't even have options. So we're not gonna look at that guy. SLV. I don't know what's going. I don't know if I want to play them. Rocket Lab, I'm in. I have that one for February. I'm waiting for them to kind of recover back into the 90s, but I also don't want to hold too long. So I'm looking at possibly getting out of them. VRT was on my ChatGPT watch list as a good value. I do like them. They're just very expensive on the for options. I don't want their news. So let's do 15-minute candles. And they did just break down. So, could we see a comeback up here to the 90 EMA on their 15? Sure. They are in a little bit of a drop down. They could also come all the way back to here. So if they come all the way back to 170, I would like to buy them. But their options, again, are pretty expensive if we're doing calls on them. We got to give them at least a week or two. Let's look at these just to have some time on them. All right, those are expensive, so we're not looking at them. We're gonna watch Rocket Lab here for a little bit because I got to figure out if I'm gonna be able to get out. I do have. Look at that low, whoop, whoop, back and forth on the price. It already went over 90. Why are they trying to tell me? So Rocket Lab got a little bit beat up as well. Similar thing where they didn't have an earnings report. What they had was they had a launch, and at the same time that they had a launch, they also had a test um, of their other rockets, and they tested the one rocket tank in a stress test until rupture, and it ruptured. And it was a hydrostatic one with water, no fuel, no explosion, no damage. Everything was fine, and it went as it was. So everybody started going around spreading that they failed their launch, and that wasn't true. They did launch and had a successful launch. They are like 80 straight consecutive successful launches, going back, for a while. And the certain rocket that they used to launch this one was called not the neutron. It was the electro something, different kind of fuel launch. But it was successful, and they had a good launch. And now the price is kind of recovering. They have links to NASA and links to the Golden Dome defense contract, so that's what we're kind of holding them for. They are a massively big winner this year if you go into their daily. And when you look at them back in 2024, this was probably the first moment of excitement. We had a big wick right here on Friday, August 16th, 2024. You were looking at this where it opened at 627, hit a high of 7, closed at 656. So if you would have bought on that day at closing, you would be, what is that, 4, 5, 16 months, 15 months or so of holding, and you'd be from about $6 probably to $90 today. Trying to be in this 90 range. So a lot of support lines coming up here. Resistance line right there. Got to break over 89.42. We're going to sit back and watch that. Let's play some QQQ for a trade today. Probably down because of Intel. AMD is up. If we're talking about Max Payne, they have their earnings report on February 3rd. And their Max Payne for February 6th that week is 215. And they're sitting at 260. So that could be another Max Payne painful drop. Play to position into or to look at. So we have this 15-minute candle. Looks like we've already established our range, just kind of waiting for it to finish in case it wants to make some crazy push. The funny thing about this range, so this is going to be very strong, this range, is because of the volume weighted moving average on the 15-minute, which is a strong swing candle time frame, because it's not too short, but it's not too long kind of thing. It's that Goldilocks kind of candle, I think, and it's probably going to be in there. We got 3 more minutes now to close this. Ooh, might push through it. See Intel 4735. They're gonna really mess up the puts on these guys. But let's get in it. We're gonna do QQQ. We did SPY yesterday, and I ended up taking a loss on it. I sold those at $1.30 when I had I should have got 2.30. So from what I had to what I sold, it was $100 loss per contract. A little bit of greed because I was above 25% and I was trying to get 35% and I just couldn't get it to close, and then it dropped, and then I held waiting for a confirmation thinking that it could come back up because the price action was right on that orb breakout that I was trying to play. So I got kind of stuck. You got to take your profits as a day trade when you're looking at something short time frame. You can't swing for the fences, and I think I had let some of my, I don't want to say my success per se, but I've had a very successful account this this month. Oh, that's QQQ. Let's go to just mine. We got 2 minutes. So this is my 1 month, and which is now 100% official. I've done 1 month in this account, and I've grown it $3,186 from 460 or 80 bucks. I don't remember what it was. I've taken money out and used that money to buy crypto, to build my crypto portfolio, build my TXC position. But we're seeing some nice, just steady building, and so now I'm at a position where I don't think it's gonna be tough to beat that January 21st high of 14, almost 1,500. I have to get to 1,600, and I'm at 12, so I would have to make like a $400 profit today. That would take Rocket Lab would have to rip a bit. I would need like, well, I guess if it went up to big enough, I could. But let's see. We should have a 15-minute candle. Oh, look at that. Got range bound hard in there. So for the orb strategy, first 15-minute opening range breakout is what it's called. And it's about to close this candle. I'm going to be biased to the high side, where yesterday I was biased to the low side. I think today I'm going to be biased to the high side. It does sound like they're trying to be a little bit positive on the market, so we're going to make these be, oh, I guess we're purple today. And then this one right there. So now we go down into the 5-minute candle, and you could do the 3, I guess, but we're gonna say the 5. And basically it's that one, and I think I missed by a little bit. Those are okay. So we need a 5-minute closing candle above or below those purple. And like I said, I'm a little bit biased to the high side, but right now would be guessing and anticipating. So I could get a bigger gain if I was to take the entry now. So let's look. Since I'm going to be biased to the high side, we're going to go to QQQ. I'm going to find, oh, is today the 0-day play? Or do I want to play Monday? Monday's going to get eaten by theta, so it's basically going to be a 0-day. I don't like the idea of paying for 2 days of theta. So if we look at the 0-day call, yeah. All right, so we're gonna look at add to watch list, and then we're gonna open this because the 5-minute candle has to close above or below. A lot of times, if you even want to wait for a longer one and watch this trade play out over a whole day or longer, you could, to be safer, you could wait for the whole candle, from base to top to be out of the range. That will give you a bigger validation, and you'll look for a bigger move, but you also will not trade as much. The way that I do it, where the 5-minute candle has to close out of it, whether it be above or below, I'm looking for 15 to 25%. Like I said yesterday, the move was really exciting, and I saw a little bit. I saw one more breakdown, I guess, if it lost one more level to get to a 35 to 45% win. So again, if you get greedy and you break discipline, you will lose. It's kind of one of the things where bears win, bulls win, and pigs get slaughtered. So don't be greedy in your plays. This could even be range bound. I won't be able to do a long video again today. I don't want to do that for you guys. I would rather these be, 30-minute videos, kind of maxed out. But I have a important phone call at 7:30 my time to take, so I will not be available to do the long video for an hour. You guys probably don't even like watching me for an hour ramble up on here. So Intel went up to 47. We're gonna just go peek at Intel right here. So I almost maybe would have looked at a put here just because of the bias that I'm thinking it has to go to 46. I don't want to play super high OI for something that only has 40 cents to drop, or it's probably going to stay right around here. And as we can see, this 46 range that is max pain for this week is also a support line. So we look at puts. Yeah, there was a little bit to be made here, but look at this one was $1.10 to $1.20, and it's probably going to start losing value here pretty soon because this is looking for a break even. There it goes down to $1.10, even though the price actually dropped down a little bit. So the break even, if you take this as the intrinsic value, and you take 47, and for a put you minus it $1.10. You're looking at 45.90, and that is possible, but that's going to be the barely break even by the end of the day kind of thing. And yep, we're looking like we're going to be range bound. Maybe there's going to be no move. Silver big move today, of course. Look at silver and gold. Looking for $100 silver, which I think it hit. 99.79 looks like the high, so it did not quite touch $100 silver. And we're looking for $5,000 gold, and it did not quite touch. Oh, this is the high. 4,967, or is this one the higher? 67. Yeah, gold definitely looking like it's going. Poland is buying 150 tons of gold. So, but that's real gold, real silver. That's where I have a hard time with the paper stuff, especially over the weekend. And then they could spike the premiums and everything, and really mess up the paper stuff. And retail's designed to lose. So if you are a retail trader, you really have to focus on how to make money in line with how they're playing. And we're sitting here watching QQQ, and I just don't think that we're going to have a trade today. This looks pretty range bound in here. I could see kind of a little bit of a trend between this wick and this wick, and I could throw this line on there just to see if it's going to try to break it, but it also could be honoring it. We can make this one be purple because we already have this orange kind of long-term support. So that's where this is instilling some of my bias, and then a lot of the volumes right up here, and the positive. And we have a red week going on, but we're flirting with getting slightly positive. Tax refunds will increase. What else we got? U.S. consumers. U.S. consumers keep spending faster than the incomes. So we look at, I can see this kind of here. There's definitely a look that this might go higher, but I also think that because of Friday, options expire, not just for the stock price, the stocks individually. QQQ does every day, so they have expiration. Um, that's where you see a lot of times prices get pegged, and then uh, you see small moves to move the demand and push the premiums around, but then price doesn't affect enough to where you can make enough money. So very difficult to make money. Intel's largest decrease since August 2024. Oh, they did go under. 45.23 could be the bounce. So at 45.23, is there going to be meat on the bones to play a call back up? Let's switch this to calls real fast. See, that's crazy. Look at, we have 45.50, which it's right on. 40. This is $1.71, $1.75. That's pretty crazy. I think they're gonna fake out these guys here pretty soon. There's a lot of people buying puts right now. I was looking at this one with my buddy yesterday. That was 240. There's $400 per contract profit. And we were looking at getting. I would have probably got one. He would have got two, just to kind of have a mini position. Wasn't trying to play it really, but man, did they smoke this. And now you're looking at this one was $1.10 when I first peeked at it. Now it's $1.30. So I could have got my 15-20% right there and got out. Or I'm sorry, it's $1.50 now. And this was about $1.10. But again, I think it's going to be a magnet around 46, and it's going to go plus or minus 30-40 cents on both sides of it, probably quite a bit. I don't think it has enough to go all the way to 45 to try to get this one to be more valuable, because it has to go quick. Like right now it's already trying to go back up. So if we look at the calls for next week, this is a dangerous rebound. Because dang, these poor guys lost $700 in value overnight. And these guys probably thought that they were golden. So let's just look real fast. We're going to ask our chat GPT, what is the max pain of contracts Intel expiring 1/30. Let's see what we got for next week. If it's significantly higher, closer to the 50, I might look at getting a call, but I don't think I will. This could be a day of no trade. Very easily could be a day of no trade. We're testing my breakpoint, so I was biased to get the up. There's a break above this little trend. It wicked above my opening range bound price area, but it has not closed above it. So if it fails, another one to play is I could play the down to here for a quick scalp, or hope for this, which would be kind of an against the grain move, kind of a very high risk play if we think that it's going to just ping pong in this range. But again, I don't always like that kind of play. So let's just look. Unfortunately, public. Now it's saying 37. That's not right. What are you doing over here? Unless that's because of all the ones that opened up. Intel expiring 1/30/. So we're looking at, based on the data available today, for options expiring next week, the max pain for Intel is approximately $43. So they're expecting more downside next week. It said that ChatGPT thinks it is approximately 46 to 49.50. That's what I was thinking it was going to be this week, and unfortunately it's there. But it's just crazy that it got so high beforehand. So we're getting close to taking a call here. The call would hopefully be a quick run to 21.53. Obviously, I would love for it to break that and come test 622.29. So I got to be kind of quick on taking this play if I'm going to do it. It's going to be a little bit preemptive, and I don't want to do that. But I'm sitting here. Those are down. That's unfortunate. Guess I'm holding those into next week. This QQQ call under $1 now. Do I want? Oh, I think it's going to do it. We're going to just take it. 4. All right, so now we need to come out to here. This is a little bit of a gamble because it broke above it, but it didn't close above it. So being a 0 day, I'm trying to get quicker profit points, and I'm taking a little bit of a risk here because I was biased to the upside. We broke this, and there was a lot of volume up here. There is some good levels up here still. And I just need to see a little bit of a recovery from everybody. Oh, look at that. We've got a nice push. Boom. So now we're at $1.08. Let's see if we had a good. Wow. Look at, there we go. A break above here, and I'm going to look for 622.29. So we're going to click on this guy. I should probably look to maybe take my profit now. But we're going to simulate my returns, and I just want to see if I can get to here. $1.40. Okay, we'll try it. We're going to sell 4. We're going to just try for $1.44 just for good old giggles. Big wick above the 621. Let's see if we get another push. Set my sell. So boom, that will be 144. My average is 93. So I was a little preemptive on that one, and I got it lucky, but 144 divided by 93 is a 55% trade. So I'll be very happy with that if we can get that push. I got to get ready for an important phone call. Got to take care of some things. Busy day this weekend for me. Hopefully selling my business. So wish me luck on this trade. I'm not going to be greedy. I'll take profit here in a minute if this doesn't get above this line. So let that be a lesson to everybody. Take your profits when you have them. Take profits. Don't be greedy. There's no need to go crazy. Oh, look, we're almost there. almost there. We're not gonna even, could even try to sit here and say, look, we're gonna break that 22.9 and we're gonna come all the way back to 23. I'm not even going for that. Not even going for that. I'm almost there. It'd be cool actually if I could catch my profit on this. One more good little push should put it there. We are definitely in the range of ride this thing now. We are all the way to 622.44 would be a crazy push. 622.44. I think I'm going to be filled. 622.44. If it gets there as 168. I'm probably already sold. I think I just saw that it was 140. Give me another little push. Just a little push. Oh, we bumped 622 and that's what happened. 622.01 and it didn't quite go over. So this little push it should. But it thinks that I could get all the way to 68 and I'm not going to hold that much. I'm not being greedy. We're taking our 144, 55% profit to have a nice quality trade. 4 of them, and we're going to make, what is that? There it goes. Boom. Sold. Take your profit. Take your profit. Nice solid day today, even with Rocket Lab being down a little bit. That trade right there took me... Made some solid profit. What is that? 51. $200 profit on that guy. So, glad you guys got to see that one. I got to go though. So, hope everybody has a good day, and we'll get you guys on the next one. Unless Rocket Lab reverses and goes crazy, let's just go peek real fast, just because we're curious. Oh, I have it right here on my watch list. 53. I almost did 50. Would have been another 40 bucks. Being that it started at 117 and this hasn't caught up yet. High 164. I said 168. I could have almost set that for 160. Coming back down. We got profit. We're not greedy. We're being disciplined and back on track. So, if you guys are Intel followers like I am, crazy earnings report. Got to pay attention to those max pain on the contracts. Contracts determine the price. Market makers do not lose. Retail does if they get greedy. And that's why we took our profit and are out, because this is already down. Now it's still 150. So I left some profit on the table, but I'd rather leave it on the table than not have any. So hope everybody has a great weekend. I'll be in the crypto world this weekend making some moves. So see you guys. Have a good one.